Good morning, Vijay, and welcome back to Howzzat. The first time we are going to talk after an IPL game.
Thank you.
Always going to be fun discussing cricket with you and the nuances of the game. Thank you very much for joining me today, Vijay. Did you enjoy the game last night?
Of course, I did. Slept very late and woke up early to prepare for the show. And but yes, it was a typical IPL start, I think. But yes, let us discuss the game.
First and foremost, I think it's very important for us to discuss the fitness of the players, given the fact that many of them are coming back to playing the sport after a long spell. Some of them did look unfit, but it's a minor miracle that nobody got injured last night. Also, you got to see some excellent fitness. Faf du Plessis, for example, taking those amazing catches on the boundary line. So you got a mixed bag, did you not, Vijay?
Oh, definitely mixed bag. But as our good friend Viren Riskina, he tweeted last night that he was aghast at some of the unfit athletes with paunches. That was, I think, not a very pleasant sight on a cricket field. Cricket is not played by the best of athletes. I know that the game is such that you can manage to have paunches and you can move slowly and still be effective in this game. But it was not a good advertisement for a sport where you talk of athleticism, you talk of robustness. So here, yes, some of the cricketers did not present a very pleasant sight, but we have to get on with it. Maybe as the tournament progresses, some of them will regain their fitness at least. They will look to be far more agile. But like you said, Faf du Plessis those two catches, but then he has been in touch with the game. And you look at someone like Pandya, Hardik Pandya. I never thought he was rusty. He just got into his act as if he had been playing every day. So there were some good takeaways from the game.
But Raidu was another one who did not look out of place or who did not look like
Absolutely.
he had not been playing cricket for some time. His knock very crucial for Chennai Super Kings in their victory. Let us take a quick look at the scorecard, Vijay, and we can then get on with discussing the game. That Mumbai Indians got 162 for 5 in 20 overs. Vijay, you might think that at some point of time they would have got close to 180. They would have been disappointed with not getting 180. Then Chennai Super Kings rallying after losing the openers, rallying to go on to win with 4 balls to spare and 5 wickets to spare. Faf du Plessis and Ambati Raidu, of course, playing very critical inning for Chennai Super Kings.
Absolutely. And look at someone like Saurabh Tiwari. For 3 years, I thought he had given up playing, and here he is. He's come back and he came up with a decent knock, given the circumstances. Quinton de Kock, yes, as always. But like you said, the innings of the match was played by Ambati Raidu. I mean, he was probably trying to embarrass a few people in the back home, trying to tell them, that they were not fair to him, and he lost very little time. And some of the shots he played, I have not seen him play those kind of shots. He does. He has a good range of strokes, but the six which he hit of Bumrah, I thought was it showed that he belonged to this platform, and he had not been given a fair run by our selectors.
Right. Ambati Raidu, of course, playing the crucial knock and becoming man of the match as well for Chennai Super Kings in that chain. But let's look at the two captains, Vijay. I think one of the most outstanding things for me in this game was the difference in captaincy. Of course, Rohit Sharma got more IPL titles than anybody has, but he was a little bit disappointing. Perhaps we are comparing him to the great captaincy of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. two things that stood out for me with Dhoni's captaincy last night. One was how he got Rohit Sharma to pull out to mid-off. There was a field change, and immediately Rohit Sharma pulled out to mid-off. I thought that was very smart piece of captaincy, getting the leg spinner to bowl very early to Rohit Sharma, and then getting that wicket. And then,
Yeah.
very importantly, I think he sent Ravindra Jadeja and Sam Curran up the order. He did not walk in himself, getting the left-handers to go in and try and score at a fast clip at a time when Chennai Super King needed 42 or 24 balls. I think these two pieces of captaincy from Dhoni stood out for me.
I think what he did by promoting the two left-handers was basic, Rajaraman. Uh, that was what you would do. Any captain should have done that. You and I should have done that. And as far as Rohit Sharma is concerned, yes, it was a ploy, but I was very surprised that Rohit did not read the surface. The ball was stopping. I mean, it was not really coming. There was later on, of course, it did help, but I was surprised by Rohit playing that shot so early and not able to understand that the change of pace, right? And I don't think he went through the shot. He didn't really play the shot. He was just he normal circumstances maybe he would have just got the punch right, but here he played it in the air and probably too early. And I'm sure it was a lesson for him to understand that these pitches are going to be very challenging. And good for him. They started with a defeat. It's a good. It serves as a wake up call, and I'm expecting Rohit to be a big player, a big run getter in this tournament.
Vijay, one thing about Rohit's captaincy, especially on the field, of course they seem to be struggling with the fielding under lights.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he did not use Kyron Pollard and Hardik Pandya to bowl at least an over each surprised me. Do you think that he would have been held back by the dew that was gathering on the ground, and that it became difficult for the faster bowlers, and that he preferred the two spinners to complete their quota of 4 overs each on a track that must have that got better as the match went on because of the dew. It held together very nicely, and Rohit Sharma, I would have expected him to use either Pollard or Hardik Pandya for at least an over.
I suspect both must not be at the fit enough to bowl because, in fact, Hardik Pandya, I think we'll be seeing him mainly as a batsman in this tournament. He is unlikely to bowl long spells unless he's recovered fully from the surgery. If you remember, he hasn't played much of competitive cricket after that. So we'll have to give him some time. Rohit Sharma would best know whether to use Pandya or not. But Pollard, yes, you are right. He could have been used for at least an over. But we'll have to see whether, again, in his case, he's fit enough to bowl. So that factor you have to remember.
Vijay, we look at some critical players in the game, given the fact that this game revolves around individual performances. Even though it is a team sport, it revolves around individual performances.
Yes.
What do you think about the kind of bowling that we got to see yesterday? You might expect the batsmen to come off a long spell of no cricket and try a few hits like we saw Ambati Rayudu do. But the bowlers, were you surprised by the quality of bowling that you got to see last night, or were you expecting this kind of bowling that we eventually saw that took the match to the final over? I don't think fans will have any reason to complain about the fact that the match did go into the final.
Yeah, but to tell you very honestly, this is just the first game. I think they're still settling down. At the back of their mind, they must be worried that if they overstretch or try to exert, they might invite an injury. So that could be. So I mean, it would hurt the team's chances, yes, and the players' own reputation and what should I say, the availability to the team in the coming matches. So best is they looked very reserved. They looked to sort of kind of constrained in bowling, in going flat out, and there was no reason. It's just the first game, I think. So they can very well, they will go back to the video analyst, and they'll get to see so many things which they can improve in the coming games. But I have a feeling that they were probably not wanting to go full charge. They just would be wanting to assess the pitches, the playing conditions, their own over match fitness, because gym fitness is different from match fitness. So here, match fitness, they were definitely lacking because they haven't played for almost 6 to 7 months. So can't blame them. Let us give them an opportunity. Let us wait for a couple of games before we come to conclusion on the quality of bowling. Yes, it was not up to the mark. Some of the batsmen were also very rusty, but overall, I thought, like you say, the fans, they were happy. The match went to the last over.
Right. One other thing that we can perhaps quickly touch upon before we wrap this show is how the pitch played, Vijay. It's going to make things difficult for the captains, especially if it is a night game. It's going to be difficult for the captains to make a decision on winning the toss. Uh, we
Yeah.
thought that win the toss and win the match would be the formula. But given the fact that the ball does swing early on in the second inning, and we saw Chennai Super King lose a couple of wickets to swing bowling, uh, I
Yeah.
think it's going to make things difficult for the captain. So that sets it up for a nice tournament, doesn't it? Because if it were a formulaic win toss, ask opposition to bat first and make use of the dew and then go on to win comfortably, then things would be a lot simpler. But I think the captaincy stakes have just been upped by the fact that there is some swing available for the faster bowlers later on in the evening.
Yeah, spin, swing and spin will definitely be equally important. And as the with the remember, there will be the wear and tear factor also as the tournament progresses. And we have covered matches at Sharjah where it can be challenging. Definitely, it can be challenging, and we'll have to see how much the ground staff has worked on the pitches, because in this was in Abu Dhabi. We'll have to wait till the matches go to travel to Sharjah and of course Dubai. Um, as far as when you talk of swing, there are not many prodigious swing bowlers in this tournament. I can't imagine they will be relying on a lot on swing, because they'll have to use they'll have to vary their pace. They'll have to depend on some assistance from the pitch, which they will definitely get. But essentially, this is going to be a tournament where you're right. I think batsmen will dominate.
Uh, Vijay, if you were to take one player, of course, Ambati Rayudu was named man of the match. If there was one player who made a difference to the game last night, who would it be
Hmm.
for you? Who would you pick?
Faf du Plessis, Faf du Plessis,
I think
because with that one catch, that catch set the trend. If you go back and see the match any number of times, that catch really raised. It was so inspiring, and it came at the right time. And then again he took Pandya's catch. So to me, and then he made runs at the most crucial time. He never lost his cool. He knew that Ambati was going great guns at the other end, so he was there right through. And to me, I think yes, Ambati got the man of the match, but for my man of the match was Faf du Plessis.
Interesting. Tonight, of course, I'll have to agree with you because my favorite for man of the match was also Faf du Plessis. But I think he made the difference, especially getting Saurav Tiwari out at a very critical time for Chennai Super King. Otherwise, Mumbai Indians look like they could have run away. They
Yeah,
did well to stop them from getting to 180.
and he had misfielded a couple of overs ago, if you remember. So he must have been under some pressure.
Right. Very quickly, Vijay, tonight, Delhi Capitals gets on against Kings 11 Punjab. The two teams from the north locking horns. Who is your favorite for tonight's game?
Two teams have never won the title. They would like to start on a winning note. Yes, Delhi Capitals, I think, is very well equipped, very well, very balanced. Kings 11 Punjab has Anil Kumble sitting outside and directing the forces. So, but I would say Kings 11 Punjab would be the team to watch tonight.
Uh, I will punt with Delhi Capitals, not just because I was involved with the team a couple of years, but I get the feeling that this is going to be Delhi Capitals here. They have the bandwidth, they have the men who can deliver, but we'll have to see on how fit everyone is, and then we will get to see tonight when the match unfolds in Dubai. We will get to see how good both sides are, and I'm sure we are in for an interesting tournament. And as
Yeah.
we expected at the beginning of the show tonight, hopefully players will get a lot more fitter as the tournament goes along, and we will have fewer opportunities to talk about the punches that we got to see last.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Thank you very much.
Let's,
Thank you very much, Vijay. I hope to catch up with you tomorrow morning as well at the to discuss the Kings 11 Punjab versus Delhi Capitals game, and we will have fun as usual.
oh yes, oh yes. Happy watching.
Thank you. And if you have any feedback to give Vijay and me, please write to circleofsport@gmail.com. We will be happy to take any feedback. Of course, we will keep improving with the time as the tournament progresses. I'm sure you will start enjoying it as much as Vijay and I are doing.